What's going on, man? Not a lot. Just trying to enjoy my Sunday. How's life? Good. That's what I like to hear. Yeah, man, it's crazy. A lot of people get upset um, if you have a different opinion. You know what I mean? Shit's crazy. So what do you think about Byron Jones letting him walk? Good idea or bad idea? I agree. Um, I think he's going to get a big contract in free agency. So it really depends on who we go after or how we try to address, because it's going to be a pretty significant gap to fill. So, and then it also depends on how much we're going to pay Dak and how much we're going to pay Amari, how much money we're going to have left over. Um, so there's a lot to consider this offseason. So I'm ready. I'm really ready to get this free agency started to see what happens. I'm not expecting any big splash players, but we'll see. We need a lot of help though, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We need some safety help. We need a DB, at least maybe 2 DBs. We need to replace Jeff Heath. We need playmakers. That's what we need. We need guys that can make plays. We haven't had that in a long time since. Jeez. So I was a big Terrence Newman fan. I love Terrence Newman. He didn't necessarily play the ball the greatest. I thought his man coverage was really good. Didn't get a ton of turnovers. There were like 2 years, I think, where he had like 4 picks each year under Mike Zimmer's tutelage. But I was a big, for the longest time, Terrence Newman was my favorite Cowboy for the longest time. And then before him, I was a big Mario Edwards fan. I loved Mario Edwards. And we had Kareem Larimore. Oh, I used to like those guys, man. Mario Edwards was never – he was always a step too late, man, but I was a big fan of his. So we're definitely going to need some help at DB for sure. But like I said, Byron Jones, I said in my other video, I like Byron Jones a lot. I think he's extremely athletic, but his ball skills are lacking. He doesn't really have good ball skills. So I would love to get a ball hawk, someone who takes some chances, knowing that when you take chances, you're going to give up plays, but you're going to make plays also. And, I mean, Byron Jones has 2 interceptions in his career. So we just need to replace him with somebody who's capable of making plays. You know what I mean? But yeah, I was a huge Terrence Newman fan. Love Terrence Newman, man. That was my guy. I remember when he ran down Randy Moss from behind. Oh, man, when he played for Oakland. I bragged about that for years and years and years. Terrence Newman ran down Randy Moss from behind. Love Terrence Newman. I was a big Roy Williams fan, too. Big Roy Williams fan. I love Roy Williams. So the key is going to be is Vander Esch going to be healthy? Is he going to be able to play the entire year? That's going to be the key. We missed him dearly. And then Tyrone Crawford also. I'm excited to see what Blake Jarwin. Hopefully, so I see Jason Witten said he wants to come back. I don't really want Jason Witten back. I love Jason Witten. He's a legend. But I'm ready to move on from Jason Witten. I want to see what Blake Jarwin can do, man. I think it's pretty explosive. Rumor has it his run blocking isn't up to snuff, but can always improve on that. So I'm really excited to see him take over at the tight end spot. It's pretty explosive. And then excited to see what we do with Cobb and Cooper. I think Gallup's going to be in 2 years. I think Gallup's going to be top 10 receivers in the league. Kid is a lot of promise. Zeke should have a good year this year too. Hopefully 1,500 yards. That would be awesome. But we shall see. See what Mike McCarthy can do in his analytics. I was actually surprised with that hire. I think a lot of people were. I thought they were going to try to go get Lincoln Riley, which I'm glad they didn't. I would have rather had McCarthy than Lincoln Riley. I am curious to see where these other free agents shake out, where Phillip Rivers goes. That's going to be if Jameis Winston stays, if Cam Newton is released. I heard it's possible Cam could be gone, which would be. I would probably move on from Cam if I was Carolina, just because his inability to stay healthy. It's just going to be weird to see him in a different uniform. And Phillip Rivers has been with the Chargers. Jeez. It seems like forever. So to see him in a different uniform, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to Indy. Go to Indy for 2 years. See what Oakland does. If they're going to make a run at Brady. Get rid of Derek Carr. I always call him David Carr for some reason. I don't know. I don't know. I try to. Oakland doesn't make sense to me. So answering the question, where's Brady going? Oakland doesn't really make sense to me. I'm sure Gruden would love to have him. It just doesn't make sense to me. San Diego or LA Chargers. I can't. So I don't think Tennessee's going to do it. I think Tennessee's going to keep Tannehill. But it's possible. I don't think he's going to Indy, though. I think Indy is a no. I think Vegas is a no. Tampa's a no. Chargers or Titans. I'm trying to be as logical as I can. If I was Brady, would I want to go to Tampa? The market there just isn't what. It's not going to help his brand, his TB12 brand. I think he's kind of transitioning into marketing his brand. But I don't know. So I would say Chargers or Titans of the teams that I named. That makes sense. That have a chance to go. I heard something about the Giants, but why would you give up on Danny Dimes? I can't see that. Um, I don't know. I can't see that one. Um, Dallas Cowboys for life. Is that for? Yes, Cowboys for life for sure. Through the good and the bad. I've been there through the bad. I remember the early 2000s. uh, I think I said this before, man. I was a big Quincy Carter fan, man. I loved Quincy Carter. Loved Quincy Carter. I wanted him to succeed so bad. I used to get made fun of because he was drafted the same year as Michael Vick, but I think he was the second round. And then everybody was like, "Oh, you could have taken him in the fifth or sixth round," and Jerry Jones reached and took him in the second round. So I told all my friends that he was going to be better than Michael Vick, just because he's a Cowboy, you know what I mean, and I wanted him to succeed. Quincy Carter, I love that dude, and loved Joey Galloway is one of my top 10 favorite Cowboys of all time. Love Joey Galloway, love Joey Galloway. Michael Irvin might be my number 2 favorite Cowboy of all time. Des Bryant is probably in my top 5. Terrence Newman is probably in my top 5. It's hard to say like Deion Sanders, and just because he played for a lot of other teams and wasn't necessary. He's not like a Cowboy through and through. You know what I mean? Like he was there to win a ring. I don't blame him for that, but I look at guys like Newman and Dez that are like Cowboys through and through. Michael Irvin, Cowboy through and through. Troy Aikman. I'm not a big Troy Aikman fan, and I think a lot of it has to comes down to his Greg Ellis. Man, I loved Greg Ellis. So remember we had Greg Ellis, and then we had Ebenezer Ekubon on the other side. I thought Ebenezer Ekubon was going to be amazing. He was trash, but Greg Ellis, man, and Leroy Glover, and then Greg Ellis tore his Achilles, and even after he tore his Achilles, he was a beast, man. I love Greg Ellis. He's like one of the few bright spots that we had during that time. And then we had Dexter Coakley and Dat Win. I love those guys. I thought when we got Leroy Glover, it was over. I thought our defense was going to be ridiculous. George Teague, Ken Hamlin. Yeah, Greg Ellis I love Greg Ellis. He was a machine, absolute machine. Bill Bates. Bill Bates was a special team monster, man. I used to like him. Remember we had so in the 90s during the Super Bowl we had Gant. What was Gant's first name? He was a special teams monster too. Yeah, Novacek was probably the Novacek or Witten. Novacek was really good, man. And he wore cowboy hats and cowboy boots. Kenneth Gant. Loved Kenneth Gant. Remember he used to do a shark? Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love Gant. The shark. I remember that. The good old days. So Novacek or Witten? And then towards the end, remember we had Jason Tucker, receiver. Thought he was going to be great. Yeah, that is hard. I mean, I think Witten probably just because his longevity, more consistent, played longer than Novacek, but Novacek was great, and Novacek had the benefit of playing with Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith and Moose Johnston and so many Pro Bowlers and Hall of Famers. Um, Witten, man, he held it down for a long time, and he was never hurt ever. That dude is something else, man. Remember Emmett's to the end of Emmett's career, we had or at least career in Dallas, and we had Troy Hambrick. And I thought Troy Hambrick was going to be really good, man. That guy, when he would spell Emmett, man, he was amazing. And then Emmett left, and he was trash. He always tripped. Every time he got the ball, he tripped at the line of scrimmage. Every time. He was always falling. I love Darren Woodson. I loved him. We had James Washington. I remember that. They were really good. And then when Roy Williams first came and Darren Woodson was, was teaching him the ropes, man. They were Darren Woodson and Roy Williams together. Roy Williams would knock the snot out of you. So I used to not like Sean Taylor, right? Obviously because he's the Redskins, and I hate the Redskins the most. So I would always say Roy Williams was better than Sean Taylor. And hit harder, because everybody's like, oh, Sean Taylor is the hardest hitter. I'm like, have you seen Roy Williams hit people? Classic. Love Roy Williams. And then he became religious, and then something happened, and he just became terrible. Jeremy Shockey used to abuse him. Remember when Darren Woodson tried to tackle Jamal Lewis and broke his forearm? I remember that. But yeah, he was a monster. Keith Brooking. I like Keith Brooking. Keith Brooking was really good. What else do we have? That was amazing. Yeah, Roy was a monster his early years, but once Darren Woodson left, man, Roy was a liability. He couldn't cover it. He couldn't cover his nose, man. He was terrible in coverage. If you remember, they were trying to move him to linebacker, and he was against it. But he gained weight. He got slow. He just couldn't cover anybody. He got exposed when Darren Woodson left. Roy Williams got exposed. Randall Cunningham. I liked Randall. Randall had a cannon. I remember we played the Redskins one time. We were terrible. And I remember we had Chris Warren from Seattle, the running back, and somehow he was wide open. I just remember Randall throwing it was on the sideline, and Chris Warren ran it in. I think we won that game. We were terrible that year, man. Yeah, we had some terrible years in the early 90s. Dave Campo. Who hires Dave Campo to be a head coach? Chan Gailey. I thought things were going to be really. I thought our offense was going to be explosive when we got Chan Gailey. Chan Gailey. I thought things were going to be really. I thought our offense was going to be explosive when we got Chan Gailey. Joey Gallo. What? StreamYard? Get their fans to join live. What is StreamYard? Oh, yeah, salary cap hell. Remember, so when the salary cap was implemented, I think like in 95, right? 94, 95, or we were It's when you and other fans can go on. Okay. I will note. I will note that. Yeah, we were in, and that's what people don't understand, right? So, um, we were in salary cap hell for the contracts that we. It was like Jerry was. He didn't understand the concept of a salary cap and didn't understand the concept of dead money. So, early 2000s, man, we couldn't afford to wipe our ass. That's how broke we were. That's why we had to. That's why we did stuff like Chad Hutchinson and Drew Henson and taking these chances on these terrible quarterbacks. We couldn't afford anybody. But I was, like I said, I was a big Quincy Carter fan, man. I wanted that guy to succeed. I thought he was going to be good, really good. And then he took us to the playoffs, 2003, I believe, right? And I think we went to the playoffs and got beat in the first round with under Parcells. And then he got busted or he popped again, and he was already like on probation, and he was facing a suspension, so they cut him. Poor guy, man. I thought he was on the incline. I thought he was going to do better. Yeah. Um, so funny story about that. Quincy Carter. So I went to so I'm from Michigan originally. I went to two Dallas games. The first one, Quincy Carter played, and then the second one he got benched for Chad Hutchinson. We lost both of them, and I remember watching Quincy Carter on the sideline, and his demeanor was just not good at all. Like he was pissed off. You could tell he was irritated, and Chad Hutchinson took over. And Chad Hutchinson, his delivery was the slowest, man. Former baseball player. And we had Anthony Wright. Remember, we had Anthony Wright? I wanted him to do good. Couldn't get it, man. I think Quincy needed mentorship. He needed guidance and mentorship, and there was nobody there to do that for him. He was still young and immature and doing stupid things. Um, yeah, it's just unfortunate. You know who I hated though? I hated Terrell Owens when he was in anywhere, especially the Star incident. Oh my God, I hated Terrell Owens. When Roy broke his leg, I hated Terrell Owens. And then when we signed him, I was so mad at Jerry Jones for signing Terrell Owens. Hated Terrell Owens. I think we did Hard Knocks that one year too when we got Terrell Owens, and then he and Roy Williams became friends, and I was like not happy about that. Like, I grew to love, or I grew to like Terrell Owens, but I hated him when we first got him. That Star, man, I remember. I can't remember what year that happened, but I remember watching that. Oh, I was so pissed. And when George Teague came and hit him out of nowhere, I was ready for George Teague to throw down with him. George Teague, I love George Teague too. George Teague and Ken Hamlin. So for me, when I knew Deion was done, we played the Indianapolis Colts. It was like a Sunday night or a Monday night game. And I remember he was lined up against Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison gave him a move and ran right. Deion didn't even move. And he ran right by Deion. And I was like, Deion's done. Like Marvin Harrison just blew by him and Deion didn't even move. And That was like towards the end of him being with Dallas. But he ended up going to Baltimore, and I think he was pretty successful there. I think he won 2000, right? I think he was on that 2000 Super Bowl team. Of course, they had everybody on that team: Ray Lewis, Rod Woodson, Deion Sanders. They had everybody on that team. But yeah, when Marvin Harrison ran by Deion Sanders, it was over. I remember Moss burning Hawthorne when he in his rookie year. Dwayne Hawthorne. Yeah, Dwayne Hawthorne, 38, was getting toasted. And they're like, Jerry should have taken, and we took Greg Ellis instead, which Greg Ellis was a solid pick for us. You can't even be mad at that because he played a lot of years and he was extremely productive. But everybody's like, I should have took Moss. But there's no guarantee that, we weren't in a position then to be as successful as Moss, would have needed to be. We didn't have Randall Cunningham and then Brad Johnson at that time. So there's no guarantee that would have worked out. We would have had, Troy Aikman for a year, but Troy Aikman was a shell of himself. So I believe that was a 98 draft. We took Greg Ellis first round. But yeah, Greg Ellis was great, man. Very good pick. Very solid first round pick. Ebenezer Ekibon on the other hand. I don't know, man. It's too early to say that. I don't know. We need a lot of help. We need a DB. We need a safety. We could use some. Depending on what happens with, are we going to get David Irving and Randy Gregory back? Yes, and we also need LVE needs to be back 100%. So remember, Dat Wynn had a problem with his neck and was forced to retire. Zach Thomas had a problem with his neck and was forced to retire. Granted, that was 20-something years ago, so technology has improved. So hopefully he can come back 100%. But those neck injuries are nothing to play with, man. But the 17th pick, it just depends on a lot of other factors. Is Crawford going to be 100% healthy? I don't know. We just need to we need DBs. But like I said in one of my other videos, I think that I think a good pass rush could make your defensive backs a lot better. You know what I mean? So if we get Gregory and we get Irving back, that'll be better. And then I'll feel better about getting a corner in the first round with that 17th pick. And then are we signing Omari? I don't know what's going on with that. So yeah, linebacker. So we need both, especially if we let Byron Jones go. There are other corners that are out there that we can get that would be, I think, good stopgaps. But how much do you want to pay for it? And do you want to take a chance on a rookie? Rookies don't always turn out, but they're younger. They have a lot. I mean, you can get them a lot cheaper. So it just depends. And then, like I said, LVE, where's he at in his? We need to keep Quinn. Quinn was a monster last year, 100% monster. If Byron Jones leaves, and I've said this before that. So Byron Jones, if he leaves, that's fine. I don't think we should. He's going to get a big payday, and I don't think we should pay him just because he doesn't create turnovers. Heath, I've never been big on Heath. I think we've always needed to upgrade that position, but I do want Robert Quinn back. Robert Quinn was sometimes the only thing we had on defense last year. But once free agency starts, we can get an idea of what we need, who we're going to pick up in free agency, who we can afford in free agency is going to be the question. But yeah, I would like to make some moves. I said before that Darius Slay is going to be a free agent. I don't want to pay Darius Slay big money. Chris Harris is going to be a free agent. I don't think he's going to be as expensive. So we'll see. What do you guys think? Who do you think we should get in the 17th pick? Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with that. You want to do best player available? That's fine. Um, you can't really go wrong with that, right? That's kind of stops you from reaching. And I think over the last like 10 years, I think the Joneses have done a lot better job in drafting. But remember, in the early 2000s, of course, that was a long time ago. We were reaching all the time, so I have no problem with best player available at all. You think we should re-sign Quinn and Byron Jones? Completely agree. Completely agree. As long as 55 stays healthy, we got to keep him healthy. And then you guys want Sean Lee back? I don't know. That's like I said. That's going to be the question. Is it everything's going to go off of how much we're gonna pay Dak unless we just franchise him. So what I'm guessing is if we do franchise him and we can't either way we're gonna have to we have to pay Amari one way or another because we can't franchise both of them. So one of them is gonna have to get franchised, and then one's gonna get signed. Yes, I agree. Sean Lee surprisingly played. I'm pretty sure he played all 16 games last year, like the first or second time in his career. Of course, he's not what he used to be or what he once was. He's still a good quality backup. There were some games I wasn't happy with Jalen though. Sometimes he was just out of position, slow. I don't know, like the Chicago game. I was not happy with Jalen at all. I did, man. My permissions were not right. So yeah, I have no problem bringing Lee back because LVE might not be healthy 100%. And then if he gets hurt again, like I said, those neck injuries, they're career enders. Robert Quinn, yes, bring back for sure. Byron, no. Like I said, he's about to get paid. He's about to get a fat paycheck. He'll go somewhere like Washington will give him a gazillion dollars. Um, Josh Norman is being released, so he's out there. I don't want Josh Norman. That was a joke. That was sarcasm. But I would take Chris Harris at the right price, and then him and Cheeto, or I know a lot of people don't like Anthony Brown, but Jeff Heath. I'm like I said, Jeff Heath has to be replaced. We need a quality safety. But yeah, I'm down with best player at 17. Whoever's best player available, take him. Hello. Back when I think it's time over the Cowboys. I don't think those never work out right. Never work out the same. When you leave and then come back somewhere, it's never the same. I love Des Bryant's probably my top 5 favorite Cowboys of all time. It will never be the same. He's not the player he was. I don't see the benefit of bringing him in. I would love to have him because I'm a Des Bryant fan, but I don't see the. Yeah, but I mean, not to be a number one. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to bring back Amari and Cobb, then where's Des going to play? I mean, I guess I don't know. I love Des. I would love to see Des go somewhere and have great success, even if it's in Dallas. I just don't think that those. Once you fracture that relationship, it's just not the same. And he called a lot of people out by name. You know what I mean? How do you come back to Sean Lee after you called him a snake in the grass and say, "Hey, man, remember that time I called you a snake in the grass? I was just playing, man." And he called Jason Witten out. He just called a lot of guys out, man. How do you can't come back from that? I would love for him to go to Kansas City, though. That'd be awesome. Go to Kansas City and have success. Oh, yeah. I agree. I agree with you. He's not going to be returning punts. He's not going to be returning kicks. I don't know if I've ever seen him tackle somebody. Not to say that he can't, but time to move on, man. Like, I hope he comes back to the NFL. If he's good enough to make a roster, awesome. If he's not, no big deal. I still love him, though. Love Dez. And I wish him great success. I follow him on Twitter and Instagram, and he's really trying to make it work, so I hope it works for him. I would hate to see him in an Eagles jersey, though. I'll be honest with you. I would hate that. That would probably. I do like Jarwin. Yes, I want Jarwin to be tight end 1. Yes, 100%. Dude is explosive. And that's one thing that we missed last year. And I thought that there were so many times. So I put in Reddit, like in week 2 or week 3, I said Jason Witten should be backing up Jarwin. And these guys, they demolished me. They were like, no way, Jason Witten's a Hall of Famer. And I'm like, I said, Blake Jarwin is much more explosive and he creates mismatch problems. And they killed me in Reddit. This was like week 2 that I said this. And I still believe that he should have been starting. By week 5, he should have been starting. Jason Witten, wherever Jason Witten catches the ball is where he gets tackled every single time. Blake Jarwin is a nightmare for linebackers. No. Am I on computer? I'm on my laptop. Is that what you're asking me? Yeah, I'm on my laptop. Jason Witten might be the slowest tight end in the league. Hold on a second. Yeah, I will. I'll look into StreamYard. We might need Lee, man. Honestly, we might need Lee back at the right price. But Byron Jones and Jason Witten, I'm fine with that. But LVE is not 100% healthy. Yeah, at his price, you can't really. That dude played all 16 games last year, so you have no reason not to bring him back, in my opinion. But I'm fine with getting rid of Witten. No, I don't want Witten back. I don't. I love you. Thank you for your service, but it's time for Dallas to move on. Blake Jarwin has the potential to be one of the top tight ends in the league. Yes, completely agree. Sean Lee played all 16 games last year, was not injured, played reasonably well. He's not what he once was, but I think you'd be doing a disservice if you're asking him to be what he was, before. Jason Witten. Yeah, Blake Jarwin. I'm telling you right now, Blake Jarwin could be a star in this league. Remember, was at the Jets game 2 years ago? If we know he'll be back and healthy. Right, we don't know that, and I don't know if we will know that until the season starts. Once he starts taking hits, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. And I think LVE being gone hurt us pretty significantly. The Wolf Hunter. Okay. John Wayne. Do you guys want Amari back? Ooh. I don't know. I'm not old enough to remember John Wayne, so I didn't really watch him when I was growing up. I don't even know when he died, but I'm Clint Eastwood, everybody knows him. So John Wayne was before my time. I don't even know when. Let me see when he died. He might have died before I was even born. The Giants game week 17 when he scored 3. Yeah, he killed it. He killed it, man. Blake Jarwin showed some stuff, man. John Wayne died in 1979. I wasn't born yet. Almost, but not quite. And he's actually the grandfather of Tommy Morrison, the boxer. That I do know. Grandfather, or he's a blood relative of Tommy Morrison. I mean, it's whatever. I need to go get my laundry. So I'm in a hotel, so I have to get my laundry out before somebody either steals it or moves it. But after that, I don't have nothing. I'm just enjoying my Sunday. The Duke. What's Clint Eastwood? Does he have a what's his? He doesn't have a nickname. Not Dirty Harry. That's his movie. So what do you guys do on StreamYard? You guys talk? The man with no name. And also Amari Cooper. Do you guys want to bring Amari Cooper back? Yeah, I've never heard of that. I will look that up and create an account. I've never heard of StreamYard though. Okay, got it. Oh yeah, I got you. You talking about Des Bryant called out Garrett Guys. Time to move on from the old regime. Maybe, but Sean Lee's still there. And right now Jason Witten is kind of still there. So I'm gonna tell you what I think. I think that in 2 years, Michael Gallup is gonna be better than Amari Cooper. Mark my words. Michael Gallup is going to be a beast. Okay. I love Michael Gallup, man. That guy, he's going to be a beast. Watch, I'm telling you. He just got to stay healthy, and he's going to be legit. I remember when he got drafted, and there were a lot of question marks on whether or not. 'Cause I think he got him from Colorado, right? And a lot of people are like, oh, who from where? No, he's going to be good, man. The kid has a lot of promise. What about Cobb? You want Cobb back? I thought Cobb played good in spots, and then some spots he just did not. You know who we can get rid of? Tavon Austin. What is his role on the team? We can get rid of Tavon Austin. He's taking up a roster spot. We could have kept Cole Beasley instead of Tavon Austin. Bad move, man. I was not sold on Earl Thomas, and I said that before, man. That dude can't stay healthy. I think. Oh, it's going to start dropping the ball. Yeah, I agree. I think even before he started dropping the ball, I thought last year when he was out of the league, I was happy then. I thought that we would have been. I thought he should have stayed on Monday Night Football. Well, a lot of people have a problem with his broadcasting skills, but Witten should be gone for sure. I hope they don't bring him back. Induct him into the Ring of Honor and let him move on. Seriously, I would rather have had Ryan Switzer than Tavon Austin. Tavon Austin, I don't know what he does. Yeah, absolutely. Robert Quinn is a monster. Great pickup. Hopefully we can keep him. Hopefully Cobb will. I don't know. He's a free agent, I believe. So I don't know what's going to happen with him. I can't remember what game it was, and he missed a couple balls. Maybe the Green Bay game. There are a couple balls that he didn't play correctly. But I don't have a problem with Cobb. I like Cobb. Cobb's cool. I don't have a problem with any of our receivers. Obviously, listen, I like Amari Cooper. I don't want to overpay, though. That's what I'm like. I understand the market. I understand how that works. I just don't want to overpay because we end up getting you in trouble. You know what I mean? And in my opinion, I think if you play for the Dallas Cowboys, I think you should take somewhat of a discount because of who it is, you know? And maybe that's me being selfish, but I think that you're going to make so much more money because you play for the Dallas Cowboys, especially at the skill position, you know. Maybe just take a little bit less, you know. And I understand they got to get their money, but unfortunately, there is a salary cap. If there wasn't a salary cap, give them whatever they want. But we have to have a good team, and it's hard to have a good team when you're paying, you know, receivers that aren't the best. Like I like Amari Cooper, he's not the best receiver in the league, and he shouldn't be paid like he's the best receiver in the league. Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of them is going to get franchised. So, I'm yes and no. I just want to pay for anybody. Be it Dak or Amari. Amari shouldn't get more money than Michael Thomas. Like what? There's no way. He just doesn't. He doesn't produce like Michael Thomas does. He shouldn't get more money than Julio Jones. There should be a pecking order. You know what I mean? Like, where do you fall out in this list? And I love Amari Cooper, but he's not. He's not top 3. He's not top 5, in my opinion. He's not better than Michael Thomas. He's not better than Hopkins. He's not better than Julio Jones. He's not better than Odell Beckham. I don't think he's better than, like, I think Adam Thielen is probably overall better and produces more generally. Personally, I think that Jarvis Landry produces better than Odell Beckham does. He might not be as talented, but I think he's a better produces better. Yeah, like I said, I'm not a big Odell fan at all. There are people that are really high on him. I would personally rather have Jarvis Landry than Odell Beckham. 100%. I love Landry. Remember his hard knocks? When he's talking about, bruh, if you ain't injured, you need to be out playing, bruh. Love that, man. Love Landry. Landry's a beast. I think Landry's more about action. Odell Beckham is about attention. I remember when people wanted AB and OBJ on the Dallas Cowboys. I wouldn't argue with either one of them. However, you know what you're getting with both of them. We don't really need attention, that kind of attention that either one brings, nor do we need the contracts that they're going to come with. I don't think that Baker's a bust, man. I don't think he's great, but I don't think he's a bust. And what I mean by that is there are certain teams that you go to where you know your career is not going to fare well. For the longest time, for the past 30 years, Cleveland is one of those teams. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't want either one of those. I don't want AB or OBJ. Neither one. I'll take Jarvis Landry over both of them in a heartbeat because I know what I'm getting with that guy. He's not about drama. He's about producing. But I think the jury's still out on Baker. I think let's see what happens this year. And I don't want Baker on my team, but I don't think he's a bust yet. You know who I think is going to be amazing is Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is going to be that dude's got a cannon. I don't think AB will ever play in the NFL again. I think he's done. I don't think they'll ever let him back in. It's one thing when you get blackballed from the NFL, forget about it. Chad Johnson. I think Chad Johnson could have went to a lot of teams and played, but Roger Goodell was like, you know what? I've had enough of you. You can't bite the hand that feeds you. And Chad Johnson got away with a lot. But once he had that domestic violence charge, it was over. Done. Do I like the coaching changes? Yeah, we needed. I mean, I don't think Jason Garrett is a terrible coach. I don't think he's a great coach. I think he's a mediocre coach. Chris Richard, I was never sold on Chris Richard ever. I thought he was overhyped. I thought he was. I don't know. I just wasn't. I was a big Rod Marinella fan though, but schemes change. Playbooks become more innovative, and he's been running the same defense for the last 20 years. You know what I mean? So yeah, we needed a new look. Yeah, his Josh Allen, I'm telling you, man, that guy's gonna be a beast, man. That dude's his arm, ridiculous. He's like Jay Cutler. So Jay Cutler used to have a cannon, but Jay Cutler mental was all screwed up. Yeah, Chris Richard, in my opinion, was overhyped. So you can't. This isn't the 80s and the 90s anymore, right? So you can't get in people's face and yell at it. Like that stuff doesn't work anymore. I coach high school football and I coach youth football. The way society is now is you have to treat them differently. You can't. That yelling and screaming stuff only works for so long. So if you're constantly yelling at and screaming at people on the sideline, a game or two after that, they're going to tune you out. Like no matter what you say, it's just going to be like, all right, all this dude does is yell and scream. You have to have a different approach, in my opinion. And Chris Richard's yelling and screaming like that's like Marty Schottenheimer trying to come back now and coach. Like, no way. That's how you have Antonio Bryant's throwing towels in your face. But yeah, I'm good with the coaching changes. Like I said earlier, I would much rather have had Mike McCarthy than to go get a Lincoln Riley. I think McCarthy is. I didn't want a college coach. I didn't want to go that route. I'm kind of surprised with the Kitna, considering they kept Kellen Moore. You know what I mean? Like I thought they would have kept both. Yeah, he had great defensive players in Seattle. How do you screw that up? You know what I mean? Wasn't he? He was also let go from Seattle too, right? I think they had a difference of opinion and with Pete Carroll, and eventually they just let him go. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. And did he get a job somewhere? Is he anywhere? I don't know what he's doing. So, okay, I would have rather have had Urban Meyer than Lincoln Riley. They're without question. I think Urban Meyer would have fared better in a professional setting than a younger Lincoln Riley, because Urban Meyer's a lot older. Lincoln Riley, I think I'm older than. I think Lincoln Riley's like 32 or 33. He's young, right? I think he's really young. And then you're going from coaching college kids who are playing for scholarships, playing to get into the NFL, to coach grown men. I don't know. Yeah, I would have rather have Urban Meyer than Lincoln Riley. But then Urban Meyer, in my opinion, has always been a liability because of his health concerns, right? He left Florida because of health reasons, left Ohio State because of health reasons. Yeah, I'm with you. I'd rather have Mike McCarthy. I'm not saying that Mike McCarthy's the answer. That's yet to be seen. But I would rather have had somebody with some head coaching experience rather than Urban Meyer and Lincoln Riley. I'm kind of upset that Eric Bieniemy didn't get a gig. I thought for sure he would get something. Yes, I think we should have kept. So we talked about that earlier. I think we should have kept Switzer instead of picking up Tavon Austin. I would have Switzer fit. I don't know. He's just a better player than Tavon Austin is. Such a utility player, but such a limited utility player. He doesn't have great hands. He doesn't have great top. Like he's shifty, but I don't know. Just not a big Tavon Austin guy. Even when he was drafted, there was a lot of hype about him, and I would have rather had Switzer than Tavon Austin. And he probably would have been just as cheap. Always injured, yeah. And he doesn't have great hands. At least Switzer had better hands. Cole Beasley had really good hands too. But he got a big contract in Buffalo. I think he had over 1,000 yards this year too, if I'm not mistaken. I think he had a pretty good year, which is surprising. I didn't think he was that type of receiver. I thought he was a slot guy and third down guy. I'm training in Virginia. I live in Southern California, but I'm in Virginia for a couple months. Oh, snap. So I don't know if I want Tony Pollard doing kick and punt returns, though. I would rather Tavon Austin get hurt than Tony Pollard get hurt. I don't want anybody to get hurt, but I don't want Tony Pollard to get hurt. He had 700 yards. I thought he had 1,000. 778, Cole Beasley did. I don't want Tony Pollard to get hurt because if Zeke goes down, we're going to need him to be ready to go. Tavon Austin, if he gets hurt, I throw Cheeto back there. Just fair catch it, bro. Just let it bounce. Yeah, absolutely. Draft somebody, get you a corner or a receiver. I'm sure we'll draft a receiver probably in the fourth round, fifth round. That's fine with me. I definitely don't, but not Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard looks good. But we also had, remember a couple of years ago, we had Joseph Randall. He looked really good in spots too. Really good. But I just got some mental issues. But I'm curious to see what happens, man. The question is, who's going to be on the team to start training camp? More specifically, if we franchise Dak, do you think he'll show up? That's the big question. Oh, Dwayne Harris. Oh, So Lucky Whitehead, if you follow him, he's like I follow him on Instagram. They won. He plays in the CFL, I believe, and he was killing it, man. Lucky Whitehead. I thought he was going to do really good, but Dwayne Harris was a. How do you not? Even as a receiver, I like Dwayne Harris. He was a really good receiver. I don't know why we didn't keep him. I got you. I hear you on that. It's a bad situation to be in, man. Just because the franchise tag is going to cause some animosity. But the question is, how far away are they on their negotiations? You know what I mean? And then at what point do you bend or break? I think pay cut. I think Tyrone Crawford gets released. We need Crawford though. We need some interior linemen, man, badly. We were getting gashed last year up the middle. Unless we get David Irving back. If the NFL reinstates David Irving and we get Irving back, I'm fine with Crawford leaving. Oh, Chris Jones. Good God. I think one game he had like 2 or 3 back-to-back terrible punts. Crawford, best take, huge restructure. Oh, he's got to restructure. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. When are they gonna sign the new CBA? That's the question. Yeah, Chris Jones. Goodness. Yeah, he's terrible. Did we find a kicker? You guys good with Kai? So Kai has been on like 32 teams in the league. I think he's been on 28 of them. He's bounced around quite a bit, I believe, and it's kind of hard to look bad when you're replacing who you're replacing. But he did well. Yeah, I agree. Bringing some competition because I don't have a lot of faith in Kai Forbath just because history has told me that he's not a great kicker. So bring in somebody else just to compete with him. Maybe some rookies. There'll be some unrestricted or some unsigned rookies that we can bring in and give a shot. I like to say that kickers are a dime a dozen, but after we had Brett Maher, I think he missed a kick one time, and afterwards he said, "I felt pretty good about that kick," but you missed them. Yeah, but they all felt good though. However, I will give some of the blame has to go to Jason Garrett on the Brett Maher kicking situation. There were times where you'd send him out there to kick a 55-yarder, and then sometimes on 44 yarders you'd go. I don't know. Sometimes the play calling and the decision making definitely rests on the shoulders of the coaching staff. Bad decisions sometimes. Remember when we got Vanderjack years ago, and he was at the time when we got him, he was the most accurate kicker in NFL history. He was terrible, absolutely terrible. He couldn't hit anything. Who was our kicker during our Super Bowl? It was Eddie. First one. Who is it? Who's our kicker during our Super Bowl runs? South of Heaven '88. I know you know his name. Who was it? Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah, if we can get him at the right price, like I said, I just don't want to overpay. Um, but everything comes down to what we're going to give Dak, like how much money. Because I think right now we have $77 million for 2020. So it depends on how much money we're going to have to. Yeah, Looney's a beast, and not only is he a beast, he's a funny guy, and I appreciate that. Um, we you got to have that depth because those O linemen, man, if one of them goes down, it can be the difference between a win and a loss, as we seen when Tyron Smith went down a couple years ago. So yeah, we need to keep some quality O linemen, and like I said, I like Looney. He's a good dude. I'm gonna Google. I hate doing this because I like to use my memory, but I'm gonna Google who the kicker was during for the Cowboys in 95, 96. I think it was Eddie. I'm not looking yet. I'm gonna give you a chance. Oh, so Chris Bonio. Before that, my favorite player on the team, Zeke Elliott, offense. It's my favorite player on offense. Favorite player right now on defense, I would have to say. So does it count if they're a free agent? So I really liked Anthony Brown a lot. And what I mean by that, I don't necessarily think that he's really good, but I root for him um, because he gets beat and because he tries hard. So I like Anthony Brown a lot. Zeke is the easy answer, but Zeke is like the engine that makes that thing go. You know what I mean? I like Gallup. Do not get me wrong. I like Gallup a lot, but Zeke is like the he. I thought he was the engine that makes this thing go. Um, and then I would say Anthony Brown on defense, just because he gives 100%, even when he gets beat. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't give up. He keeps fighting, and I appreciate that. No to this injury. Anthony Brown or Noah Brown? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't see why not. I would hope so. We need some continuity. I mean, yes, out with the old, in with the new, but we need some kind of continuity. John Jett, where's that kicker? Eddie Murray. Eddie Murray for a 92, 93. Yeah, Anthony Brown. I hope so. I like Anthony Brown. I follow him on Instagram and I like him. He's a good dude, man. He means well. I like Cheeto also. I do. I like Cheeto a lot. He gets burned a lot, but again, man, I don't know. They have good demeanors. They're good people. I like Jordan Lewis too. So I don't know. Jordan Lewis. So a lot of people wanted him to start midway through the year. One thing I like about Jordan Lewis, he's a playmaker. He makes plays. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Anthony Byron Jones is gone. I don't think we're gonna, like I said, he's gonna get paid, man. He's gonna get a big contract, and good for him. Watch him go to Detroit. They're gonna let Darius Slay go and they'll pick up Anthony Brown or something like that. So the real question is, where is Tua Tagovailoa going? Is he going to Washington? Or is Washington taking Chase Young? man. Lewis, everybody wanted Lewis to start halfway through the year. Lewis is pretty good. He gets burnt. Yeah, I can see Eagles. Eagles, I don't know where they're at salary cap wise. I'd have to look and see, but they'd be paying. Oh God, who was their corners last year? They were absolute garbage. Remember Ronald Darby, right? And Ronald Darby, once upon a time, was really good. I don't know what happened. The Broncos. So they have Chris Harris is a free agent. He's leaving. I would take that trade if we can get Chris Harris cheap. I'd take Chris Harris in a heartbeat. Lewis and Uzier. Cheeto. Sometimes Cheeto makes good plays. Sometimes he's out of position. Yeah, we're gonna need to get. We need a good veteran, man, and I'd be fine with Chris Harris at um, number one. No problem with that. I'm really curious to see what happens. There's going to be a lot of moves this offseason, and you're going to see a lot of people in uniforms that you're not used to seeing, and it's going to be good because normally in football you don't really see that too often. You see that in basketball and baseball all the time, but football not so much. But over the last like 5 years, there've been a lot more trades. Yeah, all right, yeah, I hear you. Switzer, we should have kept. I think he got hurt though. I think he went to Pittsburgh and he got hurt. Something happened to him. And then Cole Beasley did really good in Buffalo. But Cole Beasley talked too much, man. Once he started talking crap about the Cowboys, I'm like, all right, I'm glad we got rid of that dude. We don't need that drama. You talk too much, Cole Beasley. Just play football. I don't want to hear your rap album. I want you to catch balls. And then he wanted to be paid like, and I don't remember how much he signed for. I think he had a pretty decent contract though. Yeah, Philip Rivers is going to be to see him and Tom Brady in different uniforms is going to be so weird. No, I don't think so. I would rather have Dez as my number two. I said in one of my other videos, like I would be fine with Gallup one, Dez two, Cobb slot. I think that would be. I think Dez can still play. I wouldn't put him in a slot though. I'd put him at two. I think he could probably play two. He can't be the focal point of your offense though. Even in his best, it was. He's got to stay healthy though. That's the big thing. But I would say, yeah, him, Gallup, and Cobb. That'd be sick. If we let Amari go, I'm not saying I want Amari gone. That's not what I'm saying. But if it comes down to brass tacks, to dollars and cents, and we can save money, yeah, then I'm with that. Provided they all stay healthy. But I like Dez's fire, man. Yes, right, 100%. Only if Amari Cooper leaves, I'm with you. Dez's fire is special. He's a competitor, and I love that. He reminded me of Michael Irvin so much. Man, when Michael Irvin used to get a first down, and he would do his little and spike the ball. Love that. It makes everybody else around him excited and ready to play. You know what I mean? Ready to go out there and die for that dude. And I think that Dez brings some of that. Of course, the sideline antics we can't. But I think he's matured now. I don't think he would do that, throwing his helmet and pacing up and down the sideline. Remember when T.O. used to do that? And the cameras would always be right there. Oh, here's Terrell Owens. He's yelling at somebody. I'm like, come on, man. Don't need that drama. Yeah, Gallup is going to be amazing. For sure. So much potential. And then Jarwin, man, that offense could be right. You got Zeke and Pollard. You have Amari. Yeah, that would be if he stays. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I want to know what Amari wants, though. Would you guys? So that's the question. Would you guys pay him more than Michael Thomas is making? Because I think he's going to want big money. And let me see, Michael Thomas is just signed a huge contract, right? Let me see. So the easy answer would be Philly, right? But they were so banged up last year. It's hard to put them there when you have Saquon Barkley, who, in my opinion, I'm not. Do you see that guy's thighs? That guy's he's gonna be ridiculous. So the easy answer is Philly, but potentially Danny Dimes, Saquon Barkley. If they put some playmakers, they have Evans, the tight end. If they put some playmakers in there, they could be tough. They got to shore up that defense. So with the Michael Thomas deal, right? That guy got a 5-year, $100 million contract extension. So would you guys pay Amari Cooper 5 years, 100 mil? So 20 mil a year? His average salary, so yeah, his bonus is 20 mil. Average salary is 19.25 a year. I don't know how we can afford Zeke. Right. Jason Garrett is their offensive coordinator, but the thing I'm scared of is what if he does good? You know what I mean? Like, what if he succeeds there? And I'm not saying so. I said in my other video also, I put out his record. He's got a winning record. Like he's like 87-65 as a starting head coach. As a head coach. What if he goes there and he succeeds though? That's going to make the Cowboys look bad if he does well. And then I'm not saying he does. Obviously, it's the Giants, and I don't want them to. He's got top 5 running back, top 10 tight end, an up and coming quarterback. So the pieces are in place offensively for him to do well. What he does with that, we'll see. Eli's gone. Danny Dimes is a lot of people expect him to be very good. So we'll see. You got a new head coach, and he came from Belichick's lineage. So maybe it'll take him a couple years, but because Saquon, this will be his 3rd year. Still young, great running back. We'll see. I never thought Jason Garrett was the problem, but I never thought he was the answer either. I just thought he was just there. You know what I mean? He's just there. Coach Clapp, they call him. You'll be seeing that twice a year, every year. Unless he works up in the booth. Maybe he'll be clapping from the booth. Maybe you'll see a shot of him. He's like, I seen also um, Tom Brady that the Giants may be interested in Tom Brady. I don't see how that would work. Um, why would you do that to your young quarterback that you is going to be your franchise quarterback? I don't know. We'll see. There's too many question marks right now to make any assumptions. I heard that if Brady leaves New England, potentially Andy Dalton or Marcus Mariota as his replacement. I think Mariota's trash. Trash. I mean, anytime you leave a team and Ryan Tannehill comes in and outshines you, he reminds me of Mark Sanchez a lot. You know what I? You know what's funny about Philip Rivers is I seen an interview and he was like, they were like, "Where do you want to play and how much longer do you want to play?" And he was like, "Well, I want to be with the team. Sign a 2 year contract. Hell, if I don't do well the first year, then who knows? I'll probably call it quits. But if I do well, they might want me back." And I'm like, that shouldn't even be a like. If I don't do well, like, why would you even say that? Yeah, you should. Yeah, definitely. I did actually. I seen on YouTube one of the one of the major broadcast shows did a thing about Brady to the Giants. Could it happen? I don't know. Where they get the stuff from, I don't know. I just watch it and then think about it. Um, I don't think there are any known suitors right now for Brady. I don't think it'll be Tampa. I don't think it'll be Indy. I don't think it'll be the Raiders. I think Jameis Winston is going to stay in Tampa. I think they're going to either franchise him because he wants. Rumor is he wants 30 plus mil a year. I think they'll probably end up franchising him, and he'll stay there. And I think he's going to have a good year next year. Sometimes I watch him. So my only issue with the Titans is the market. Like they don't really have a fan. Their market is, and I think Brady is more focused on promoting his brand, his TB12 brand, than he is. Um, I don't want to say winning. Yeah, I know. I don't think Tennessee. The only thing I can say is he won't have to throw the ball as much. He'll have Derrick Henry. Um, he has a good offensive line. His receivers, they're okay. And Tennessee, I don't know. The Chargers, I would say over Tennessee, but then the Chargers, you have to think their market is terrible. I live in San Diego. I remember when they were in San Diego. It's even worse in LA. Um, and then their head coach, like he's unproven. So I don't know. It's going to be weird. So, yeah, the only problem I have with the Chargers, like I said, is the people in LA hate the Chargers. Hate them. They should have never moved to LA. They should have stayed in San Diego. But even when they were in San Diego, they couldn't. They could never. First of all, their stadium was old as hell. Um, actually, SDSU plays there now, and they're about to renovate it. But there was talk before they moved, and they were gonna move the stadium down further in San Diego, and then they ended up moving to LA. LA didn't want them. They were like people protesting. They didn't want them there because they already have the Rams there, so they have no fan base really at all. And um, their head coach is a big question mark. But who knows? Possible. I think that over. I could see that over Tennessee. But maybe there's a major trade somewhere else. Who knows? Whoa. mean, where else could he go though? Realistically, what if he went to? No, I can't do that. The Bears get rid of Trubisky. He's still on his rookie contract. I don't know. There could be a team that nobody's expecting that he could go to. I don't know. The Bears market's pretty strong. It's a pretty good market. Um, I don't know the receivers. Mm, I don't know. Oh, they have Allen Robinson. He's pretty good. I like Allen Robinson. Trubisky, he's a mess. Unless he's playing Dallas, then he's amazing. Yeah, with Brady, man, there's going to be all kinds of rumors and I think that's where once we know where he's going, I think everything else is gonna. I think everything is waiting for that chip to fall. Once everybody knows where he's going, then everything else will start falling into place. But everybody wants to see where Brady's going. Who's he talking to, and what teams are interested, and where's he going to go? Nobody knows except for Brady. Who that is? All right, fam. I'm gonna go to get my clothes out. I'm gonna get something to eat for lunch. It is 3:30. I will check out the StreamYard also, and I will let you guys know what's up with that. Thank you guys for joining me. I really, really do appreciate it. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your Sunday and have a great week. Go Cowboys.